She had also randomly interjected stuff about her hoo-ha being stretched in casual conversation, and to be honest, it rung in my head as being very oddly specific and also kind of weird. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to go over a story titled, I Broke Up With My Girlfriend Because of Her S-Word Past. And guys, this story is about a guy who's in a relationship with a girl, and just like the title says, her past definitely is causing a lot of problems with the two of them. But you're also going to see it isn't just her past, it's also her freaking attitude. You're going to see here in this story, guys, this gal, she likes to push buttons. She likes to test. All girls like to test, don't get me wrong, but she takes it to a whole new level. And this guy, absolutely, when you quickly discover, he's a typical nice guy. A nice guy with the wrong girl. For whatever reason, he's with her. She's obviously with him for other reasons. We'll find out more as this goes on. And for this whole thing, she's constantly disrespecting him, talking about the sausages, if you will, of former boyfriends and flings and lovers and all that. Constantly bringing this up. Major disrespect. Now, any guy that has any real experience would have cut her off right away and said, the one warning, don't go talking about your former boyfriends, let alone the size of their sausages to me. I don't want to fucking hear, otherwise we're done. And the second time, walked away completely. Or just walked away right then and there. But not this guy. He endures so much BS, and you just want to smack the hell out of him so many times for putting up with it. But the point is, the never-ending disrespect and drama and bullshit. So this is a great example, guys. A good, entertaining story, but also an example what not to do. Of how guys will endure so much BS because they probably think they're not worth it. This is as good as it's going to get. This pretty girl's paying attention to me. Who knows? Or they're just gluttons for punishment. So I'm going to get into this, guys, and I'll let you guys be the judge on this whole situation and my take, of course. So it starts off, he says here, basically, I never asked about my girlfriend's past, but she kept bringing up her ex's girthy dongs multiple times even after I told her to stop. He gets right to the meat and potatoes of the issue right away. The first time was really weird. Randomly, one day, she brought up how she can feel her partner's pulse through their you-know-whats, and how she specifically could feel one ex's pulse inside her hoo-ha through a condom. I was kind of like, so you can feel mine? And she says, sometimes. Alright, so she's talking about her ex's sausages. I gotta speak in serious code here to do this video. And how she feels it in her hoo-ha. Classy girl. What the hell is this guy doing with her? He says, weird, but whatever. Then later I asked her a question, and she misheard it as, have you seen a big you-know-what? Even though I clarified that's not what I said, and she excitedly followed up with, yeah, 2 years ago. I just left it at that and tried not to think about it too much. Then we were talking about orgasms, and she told me she was unable to orgasm with any partner, even one that was really big, but didn't know how to use it. Okay, she's been around the block. Carousel rider here. After that, I stopped her and told her straight up, I don't want to hear about how big your ex's you-know-whats are. It's not important to us. She kind of tried pushing back on me, saying she's never talked about it before, and I told her that's not true. Remember earlier times. Well, do you want to hear what my you-know-what felt inside my ex? She said, of course not, and we moved on. Guys, you gotta establish boundaries with women and lay down the law. And if you draw a line in the sand and say, do not cross this line, whether it's physically or verbally, you get my point, and they cross it, you need to check them on it. Or in case they cross the line, you walk away. But this girl crosses the line constantly with this guy. All right, and he is displaying weakness. And when women see weakness, they test more to make sure that guy isn't weak. And in some cases, do it more in a way to punish him for being weak. But she's also just an overall a-hole, as you're going to see. Then not even a week later, we were talking about random flings, and she told me I was her first random hookup, SCX, outside of a relationship. Sure, this guy here is a nice guy. He's not a random hookup type of guy. He is a boyfriend material guy. She is a friends with benefits, not even that, in my opinion. I quickly pointed out, no, you're literally with another guy right before with me, you told me about and you weren't in a relationship with? She replied, oh yeah, he had a lot of girth, so it was hard to say no. She keeps bringing up the size of her exes, testing his confidence here, testing if he's insecure. This is what some of them will do. And guys are dumb enough to play their game and get sucked into it. At that point, I was really taken aback. Again, I just asked her not to talk about that stuff, and while I was sort of on a subject, I really didn't need to know about that. I'm fine with my size, but she's never called me girthy, so it's pretty obvious that the guy was bigger, which makes 2 exes she's now told me about always being bigger than me. You need to check her. Cut this shit out, or we're done. I don't want to hear this. I asked her to bring it up. No, you lay down the law. At this point, some doubt started creeping in, but I tried to put on a bold front and get over it. It was bothering me enough one day where I straight up asked her, why do you keep bringing up your ex's girth like that? I told you I didn't want to hear about it. She basically replied, I don't know. Just because you bring something up like that doesn't necessarily mean anything. And that was it. Bullshit. She does know. She's testing. All girls test. All women test. But some take it to a whole new level. They become black belts in testing. She had also randomly interjected stuff about her hoo-ha being stretched in casual conversation, and to be honest, it rung in my head as she was being oddly specific and also kind of weird. She also used the phrase used to be bigger in just inappropriate situations, and it kind of felt like she was messing with my head. You bet your ass she's messing with your head. Drama. Break up with her. She's trash. She doesn't respect you. You ask her not to talk about this stuff. You even tell her. She doesn't listen. So, of course, we get into an argument about it because she thought I was complimenting some bartender too much, and I told her she has no right to be bothered as she's been complimenting the ghost of her ex's sausages in front of me. For no reason, and if we're going to watch each other feel about complimenting other people, then she needs to watch her mouth. Well, her mouth, she doesn't watch her mouth because her mouth has been in lots of places. The argument boiled over into the next day, and she basically said, I'm not with you for the sex, and there's nothing wrong with me saying I like big you-know-whats, just like you like girls with big boobs. I never said that. What's the difference? Did you hear that? She just said, I'm not with you for the sex. Well, if she's not with him for the sex, and no surprise there, she's obviously with him for something else. Resources, emotional support, he's her safety net, but if she's not with him for the sex, a gal like this is going to get the sex from someplace else. And we all know it. It was a terrible argument that ended poorly even after we made up, but I honestly just resolved to take my place as the guy she's not with for the sex. And I'm really tired to move on from it. Really tried to move on from it. No guy should just accept that they're the guy they're not there for the sex, because in other words, she's settling for you. She's going to get it someplace else from Chad and Tyrone. But this poor young guy who's smacked ass, in my opinion, on many ways, just doesn't get it. Then bam, that very night we were dancing and she slid a large water bottle down my pants and started grinding against it. Talk about an insult. I was pretty shocked as there was no real other way to take it other than an insult and humiliation, but I didn't want to ruin our vacation, so I sucked it up and prayed that it just never came up again. Smack. And I've been smacking it many times before that. Dude, she is constantly disrespecting you. Break up with her. Seriously. I'm sure you can get other girls. Have some self-respect. Of course, a few weeks later, it did come up again, and when some movie we were watching had a close-up of some guy's huge bulge, she loudly said, ooh. She's doing it to fuck with you, man. At that point, I was just done. I stopped her and told her, at this point, even if we aren't together for the sex, you have no right to humiliate me like this. I told you I didn't want to hear about your exes, and you keep bringing it up. And doubled down on when I asked about it. And now you're stuffing water bottles down my pants and oohing and awing at guys' bulges in front of me. What am I supposed to think? How am I supposed to feel? Well, obviously, she's trying to get a rise out of this guy, and it's working. And she knows he doesn't have the balls to break up with her. She actually apologized, but it was so bad, and she told me that I needed to work on my confidence. There you go. Now, she's being an a-hole. And nobody that cares about someone would behave in this way. But right there, need to work on your confidence. She's doing it to fuck with him. And to feel better, I should think of all the other girls I was with that made me feel like good about my you-know-what. After that, I just lost all my feelings for her. It's about fucking time, dude. I felt humiliated and grossed out by her. The reason this was so hard for me is that I would never want to make my partner feel bad about themselves in any way, shape, or form. And all she ever does was just that. What the hell are you with her, man? Told you guys this is more of a learning story and it's drama central. They're obviously like 21 or something. She loved the big you-know-whats more than she respected my feelings, and that was clear. I broke up with her 2 weeks later, and I straight up told her that it was because I don't feel good around you, and I don't want to be with someone who makes me feel this way. Praise the Lord. He should have done this on the first page of this story. It's amazing me so many guys will put up with. It's like, life's too short. Have some self-respect. This is why I work so hard on the other channel, encouraging guys on self-improvement to build themselves up so they won't put up with this crap, because there's going to be people who take advantage of it. Guys that have a lot going on in their lives wouldn't tolerate this disrespect. Now, I will say a lot of it is she's an a-hole, but she's also testing the hell out of him, testing his confidence. But she mentioned, I'm not with you for the sex. She's using it. Of course, the entire time in this relationship, I had been holding my tongue on her hoo-ha, which in my experience was the worst one I ever encountered. When she asked me about hers, of course, I showered her with praise because it was the only one I wanted. And I told her there was no other girl I wanted. She did the complete opposite and told me to suck it up, so I broke it off. Am I the a-hole? No. The only reason you're the a-hole is because you stayed with her so long and she was constantly disrespecting you. But this is what nice guys do. So the lesson of the story is build yourself up. Don't take any crap. Somebody can do something once, fine. You bring it up, say, that's not cool. That's disrespectful. Don't do it again. Draw that line in the sand. If they cross that line, there's consequences. Whether it is you tear them a new one or you end the relationship. But most guys out there don't have the balls to walk away. They don't have the balls to check a girl, let alone walk away. Because they think this is as good as it's going to get, so I'll put up with their shit. Women don't respect guys that put up with their bullshit. Until they know that you're going to walk away and never give them the time of day again, they're never going to truly respect you. I talk about this a lot on my other channel. Can't make that any more clear. Now, real quick, I'm going to do some updates here, but ultimately, this is a nice guy, and she's a carousel rider, and they don't work. One guy says here, she looked for any chance to instigate. You were patient and even brushed it off quite a few times, but she wouldn't let up. I'd say you were in the right. Hell yeah. He said, the original poster, I left out the most frustrating part of all, which is whenever we talked about it, she always deflected, minimalized, or just tried to make me feel crazy about having feelings. Twisted around, made him out to be the bad guy. I don't know what the heck she wanted from me, but it was like a weird, subtle abuse. Her loss, though, I was the only guy to give her an orgasm and turned her into a squirter. I guarantee you, this guy did not give her an orgasm. This guy, no, Chad and Tyrone gave her that. She was just faking it. Another guy says here, I've broken up with girls because they were less annoying than this. You shouldn't put yourself through this kind of abuse, man. People either treat you nicely or they can kick rocks. All right, this guy gets it. Another guy says here, the first time would have been the last for me. And the whole not in it for the sex thing would have sent me out the door. She has no respect for you and is complete trash. Next one, don't put up with that kind of nonsense for so long. Right. Somebody else picked up on that whole, I'm not with you for the sex. And the dude that wrote this replied, she flip-flopped between the I was the best sex ever to I'm not with you for the sex. I have no idea how to feel. On one hand, I was the only guy to give her an orgasm or make her squirt. Though even with all that, it didn't stop her from daydreaming out loud. Dude, you're delusional. She was faking it. You're not the type of guy that would give a girl an O. I don't know what to believe. At one point, she got mad and told me to shut the F up about being bothered because it was the biggest. And I was like, what? That's clearly not true based on the measurements you show me with your hand. It was a mind fuck. Yes, this whole thing, their whole relationship was one giant mind fuck. I try to watch my language, but I can't help it. So guys, moral of the story is, don't get involved with carousel riders. Girl who shows disrespect, pulls BS and all that, cut them loose. End of story. Because otherwise, they'll just keep doing it and doing it. And I guarantee you, she was getting it from someplace else. That's how these types operate. Because she wasn't with this guy for the sex. She was there for the resources. And she knew her nice guy here would keep taking it and taking it. And, of course, throwing in women test. They all test. And when you act weak and don't check them and all that, they'll do more testing and it gets worse and worse. she's just an a-hole, totally disrespectful, and ain't girlfriend material. But this, as the saying goes, you can't turn an HOE into a housewife. All right, guys, that was it for today. It's a quick one, but a quick, bizarre, drama-filled story here, but entertaining, and some good, important life lessons here. Be sure to comment down below. I know what you think about this. And guys, if you come across a good story you'd like to share, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just give me some time to get to it, and I will down the road. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.